Arden has been one of the hottest communities in western Palm Beach County for years. But now that it's almost built out, traffic is increasing and there's uncertainty around a proposed data center nearby. Many buyers are starting to ask the same question. Is Arden actually still worth it in 2026? And honestly, my answer is not a simple yes or no. Because while I personally would proceed with caution right now, I also know many people who absolutely love living in Arden would buy there all over again. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what makes Arden so different from other communities in Palm Beach County, what buyers love about it, and what concerns people are talking about right now, and who I still think Arden could be a really good fit for. Hi, I'm Linda Brennan with the Brennan Team, and I help people relocate to Palm Beach County, especially the western communities. And if you're thinking about moving to Florida, this is exactly the kind of information you need before making a decision, because every community has pros and cons, and what works for one family might not work for another. Now, let's first talk about why so many people still love Arden, because Arden wasn't really designed to be a typical master plan community. One of the first things people notice when they drive through Arden is how connected the community feels. There are bike trails running throughout the neighborhood, scenic walking paths, green spaces everywhere, and it feels very outdoor focused compared to a lot of traditional suburban developments. You can take a short bike ride to the amenities or spend an hour just riding through the community. And that lifestyle really appeals to people, especially buyers looking for more wellness-focused living and stronger community connection. And then you add in the amenities. Oh my, the pool area is incredible. They have kayaking, fishing, huge green lawns, soccer fields, basketball courts, playgrounds, and miles of trails. It really feels more like a resort-style living than a typical HOA community. But what truly makes Arden different is the Agrihood concept. Instead of building the community around a golf course, Arden is built around a working farm, and that becomes a huge emotional selling point for buyers. There's a beautiful red barn at the center of the community where residents can pick up produce grown right there in Arden. Residents can participate in gardening programs, educational workshops, farm events, and volunteer opportunities. For a lot of families, especially health-conscious buyers, outdoor lovers, and even homeschooling families, that lifestyle feels intentional and refreshing compared to more traditional communities. And for those of you who either live in Arden or have visited Arden before, I'd really love to hear your thoughts and comments. Do you think the Agrihood lifestyle really sets Arden apart from other communities in Palm Beach County? Or would you personally rather live somewhere with a more traditional development and infrastructure? The schools are also a major reason many families are drawn to Arden. Saddle View Elementary opened ahead of schedule to help keep up with the rapid growth happening in the western communities. And what's interesting is that the school was designed to reflect the lifestyle of the Agrihood that's represented in Arden. The campus includes agricultural themed learning, gardens, and outdoor focused educational spaces that directly focus on the community's identity. And for families moving from a more crowded urban or suburban environment, that combination of outdoor living, community connection, and newer school infrastructure can feel very appealing. Right now, many Arden students are also zoned for well-known Wellington schools, which is another major draw for relocating families. At the same time, the school district is already monitoring long-term capacity very closely because growth in this area has happened so fast. There are already discussions about future school expansions and long-term planning for the western communities as more development continues moving west. So while families are attracted to the schools, it also becomes another example of how quickly this entire area is evolving. And I think that's important for buyers to understand. Even today, there are still things about Arden that I think are beautiful and really well done. But now, we need to talk about the other side of the conversation, because that's where buyers need to pay attention. As of 2026, Arden is in the final stages of construction, and Lennar is currently the primary active builder still offering homes here. There are still quick move-in homes available, and buyers are definitely purchasing in Arden. But one thing I always tell buyers is this new construction does not automatically mean there's problem-free. Like many large-scale communities built quickly during Florida's construction boom, there have always been some homeowner concerns over the years. One issue people talked about in Arden involved a tile-related warranty repair needed in some of the homes. From what I understand, those issues were addressed, and I'm sure adjustments were made going forward. But I think it's important for buyers to understand that every community, including new construction, can come with challenges. Another thing that buyers should really think about is the location and infrastructure. Right now, Arden is essentially functions with one main entrance and exit. And as more homes are completed and stuff builds up around, more families move in, people definitely feel the bottleneck at certain times of the day. There have been ongoing discussions for years about creating a second access point for the community, and many residents have strongly advocated for it, especially after major traffic incidents on Southern Boulevard, which leaves some residents feeling stuck for long periods of time. It's the only way back into the heart of Palm Beach County. One of the ideas being explored involves extending Okeechobee Boulevard westward towards the north side of Arden. And Palm Beach County has already commissioned feasible studies looking into possible routes. But as of right now, there is still no officially approved second gate plan. And part of the reason is because it's complicated. There are concerns involving nearby homes, possible eminent domain issues, environmental considerations, and even pushback from some neighboring acreage residents. They worry that new construction could push more traffic into the smaller roads that are local to those residents. So it's definitely something that buyers need to stay aware of moving forward. Now, to be fair, there are also regional infrastructure improvements happening nearby, including the widening of Seminole Pratt Whitney Road and future emergency service improvements planned closer to the community. And let's keep in mind that the gate situation was already there years ago when many current residents purchased in Arden. The difference now is simply that the community is fuller, and for some people, that's not a deal breaker at all. In fact, some residents actually like the fact that Arden feels tucked away from the busier parts of Palm Beach County. Once you're inside the community, it almost feels like its own little pocket separated from the outside world. So depending on your personality and lifestyle, that can either feel peaceful or inconvenient. Why I say this entire conversation, it really comes down to lifestyle priorities. Now, we also need to talk about the biggest uncertainty surrounding Arden right now, and that's a proposed hyperscale data center known as Project Tango near Southern Boulevard. This has become a major topic of conversation throughout the Western communities. There's been a lot of community opposition surrounding the proposal, including concerns about noise, infrastructure, water usage, power demand, and how close the project could potentially be to residential areas and Saddle View Elementary. Some parents and residents have expressed concerns about long-term quality of life and how that impacts if the project moves forward. Now, as of the filming of this video, the zoning discussions and hearings are still evolving, and there's still uncertainty surrounding what exactly will happen with the project. Developers have already proposed modifications and relocations of portions of the project, and ongoing discussions are happening at the county level. So I want to be careful not to present speculation as a fact, but I do think that buyers should absolutely be aware of it because of the uncertainty itself can influence how people feel about buying into a community. And this is where I feel buyers really need to zoom out and ask themselves a bigger question: what kind of lifestyle are you actually looking for? Because if your goal is wellness, outdoor living, community activities, bike trails, green space, and health-conscious atmosphere, Arden still checks a lot of those boxes. But if infrastructure concerns, long-term development and uncertainty, or traffic flow are things that bother you, then you may want to compare Arden against some other communities nearby before making a decision. For example, some buyers are leaning towards Westlake right now because they like the newer infrastructure, growing commercial development, and overall city planning. Others are looking at Avenir in Palm Beach Gardens for a more luxury-focused version of Agrihood style concept with larger nature preserves and higher-end builders. And then you have communities like Abacoa and Jupiter where buyers prioritize walkability, town center living, and more established community feel. And I'm curious, if you were moving to Palm Beach County today, would Arden still be on your list? Or would you choose a community like Westlake, Avenir, or somewhere else entirely? Let me know in the comments, because I always find it interesting to hear what buyers prioritize. Every buyer is different, and really that's the biggest takeaway from this video. I don't think Arden is a bad choice at all. I don't think it's automatically the best choice. It depends on your lifestyle and how you want to live. It's important to understand the pros and cons before you buy anywhere, because every community in Palm Beach County has trade-offs, and the right decision really depends on your priorities, personality, and what matters most to your family. And if you're thinking about relocating to Palm Beach County and trying to learn more about the different communities, lifestyles, and housing options throughout the Western communities, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to share information and help you explore what might fit your needs the best. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.